I hear about it all the time. Being that I live here in Richmond, I hear about it all the time. It never gets old, man.
It's over. It's all over.
It's been 10 years since VCU shocked the sports world.
I've never seen Richmond like this. This is unbelievable.
Something that these guys are never going to be forgotten.
The Rams' epic journey told by the players and coaches who made it happen.
That Final Four changed this entire city.
The pride of the city was overwhelming.
Everyone wanted to know about VCU.
And nobody thought we should have got in.
They said y'all didn't belong.
We did what everybody said that we couldn't do.
So I think we are the Cinderella story.
First Four to Final Four, a Cinderella story, sponsored by the Virginia Lottery.
Pretty cool experience, still to this day.
The 2010-2011 regular season gave no indication of the history to come. VCU did have a 9-game winning streak, but lost to Richmond, Georgia State, Northeastern, and Old Dominion, among others.
But I always say, like, we were a really good team. We just had a really bad month.
I mean, I can go ahead and tell you right now, we absolutely did not think about a Final Four.
I don't know what it was. It was like we just had a monkey on our back.
Pass over in the left corner. Here's Nixon, well covered this time. Steps up to the foul line. He's feeling it. Missed that shot.
We cannot dwell on this game. We can't dwell on the loss.
We struggled. We lost 3 home games in a row. We got beat by 20 at home, in a row by ODU and George Mason. George Mason was top 25 at the time. They had the longest winning streak in the country at the time.
I won't say that Final Four was anywhere in our mind.
Our bracket buster game against Wichita State at Wichita State was huge.
Rodriguez puts it up. It's short, but he is fouled.
To win a game there that year just spoke volumes about who we were when there was big opportunities.
Early, you look for him. There's the shot.
It's off in time, in and out, and a huge road victory for VCU.
Yeah, so basically we had a practice, and before the practice, coach had us all sit down.
We're just talking about things of how we could correct. The scheme had called me out for my efforts, especially on the defensive end, things I was doing in the beginning of the year. I had stopped doing, and that was just the beauty of our team. And it wasn't, pointing fingers or name calling. It was just about accountability. And that was the day Coach Smart did his legendary calendar burn.
We knew he was up to something. Coach Smart was always good at getting guys to get back to the present moment.
And he has this like 10 trash can, and he has the month of February, crumbs it up, throws it in the trash can, gasoline, lighter, the whole 9.
He lit that thing up and it went up in smoke. There was a lot more. Now I don't know what the fire code was in Franklin Street Gym, but we were probably close to it. The point that he was trying to make, and he made it, was it's over with. February didn't go the way we wanted it. It's over with. Some of you guys here are seniors. This is what we got left. Let's be in the moment. And man, it sure worked, and the guys bought into it, and they took off from there.
If you win and you're successful and you go on a run, then those stories are great. And if you lose or you don't go on a run, then they're not, And it just so happened that we won a bunch of games in the month of March. So burning the calendar in the month of February was pretty cool. But that's not why we won. It was Jamie Skeen and Bradford Burgess and Joey Rodriguez, Ed Nixon, Brandon Rozelle, Darius Theus, Troy Daniels. That group of guys, they're just buying into something larger than themselves.
The CAA did not have a strong reputation for sending multiple teams to the NCAA tournament. The best way for VCU to get into the big dance would be to win the conference tournament. A loss to ODU in the title game left the Rams guessing on Selection Sunday, with some skipping the show altogether.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our New York studios and the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show.
I think all of us were doing something differently individually. Like, all of us were all over the place. I was in my room watching Ben 10.
Hey, seafood salad, over here!
Danny Phantom or something. I was watching some type of cartoon.
I was in my dorm room.
All the coaches, we were all in the office.
Coach Smart's office with the other freshmen at the time.
Joey, on the other hand, was tuned into the whole pre-picks and everything. Like, well, we got a chance. Well, this guy says we got a chance to make it.
That whole week was, gut-wrenching for me.
As we were watching Selection Sunday, we knew, like, okay, we might have a chance.
I was nervous. And I'm usually not that guy.
Second and third round games to be played Friday.
I remember the first round, maybe, the first Regent, and I looked at Shock and sort of shook my head. I went in my office.
Team number 9 out of the Big East, the Hoyas of Georgetown. Coach John.
And then it was a little bit surreal because you didn't know when that next grouping was going to be shown. They were showing the different seedings.
Between the Trojans of USC out of the Pac-10 and the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth out of the Colonial Athletic Association, the Rams.
Everybody just screamed.
It was like an out-of-body experience.
He just bust out his room screaming to the top of his lungs. Yeah, we're in. I peek out the door like, yo, what's going on? He runs out the room. So I follow Joey into the hallway like, yo, what's up? He's like, we're in.
The energy, it still can't be duplicated. Like, just the feeling. Because, seriously, I think Coach Smart's wife was there. We're all there, and we just see our name, and everybody blacks out.
I remember talking to Joey on the phone. He called me. He's like, you believe this? Like, what are we doing? And everyone just started coming over. And then we were trying to find Skeen because he was eating. And Skeen's phone was blowing up, but I think he was eating wings at the time.
I had a whole lot of buffalo sauce that was on my finger, so I wouldn't pick up my phone. So I just kept seeing a whole lot of people calling and texting, and so I just kept ignoring it. And I was like, man, this must be something serious. So I wiped off my hands and I picked up my phone. And the first phone call I picked up was my high school coach after he called like 3 times.
To have the opportunity to get in, we're super excited. We're all energized, and then we all kind of meet up for the meeting, and we have the TVs on, and we're just kind of listening to everything that they're saying.
My wife knows diddly about basketball, but if you put her here and said, look at Colorado's resume, look at UAB, and look at VCU, it'd be an M&M a mismatch, man. It would be like a beauty contest. Roseanne Barr walking in versus Scarlett Johansson. No shot.
When we talk about the Final Four, the thing that I remember the most were how upset the guys were when people were knocking us for getting in.
As a matter of fact, one of the big-time sports commentators said that he would eat crow if VCU, went all the way.
Coach Smart did a really good job of, just putting that out in front of us and being like, all right, well, a lot of these people don't think you should be in, so what are you guys going to do about it? And definitely motivated us.
And he had to eat crow because VCU turned out to be the team that would show everybody that they had the wherewithal to make Richmond proud.
With a chorus of national analysts deriding their at-large selection, the Rams head to Dayton to play USC in the first 4.
To have like a play-in game for an 11th seed was pretty cool. And to be the first ones to do it was awesome. I've never been to Dayton's University at the time.
The NCAA tournament, they often give the participants like new shoes and like some shirts and stuff. And I think we were told that we had to wear the new shoes and stuff. And like my feet were hurting the first half. Not only myself, but some other guys.
I think it was a close game at halftime. We weren't shooting the ball well. Played very well defensively. At halftime, everybody changes their shoes, so like their busted old, shoes we've been wearing all year. And we came out in the second half firing. So I always thought that was a pretty cool story.
Rodriguez inside and on. What a pass! What a set by Shaka Smart.
That second half really got us in our groove and got us rolling.
All this new stuff for a team that's been rugged and doubted all year. Like, just take off the shoes, go back to who you are.
Next, it was a trip to the United Center to face Georgetown in the round of 64.
Being in downtown Chicago on the Magnificent Mile, it's around St. Patrick's Day, so the river's green. You're playing in the United Center, the house that Jordan built. They got the banners up, but the banners are covered, but the history in the building.
Georgetown's right up the road. We never had the chance to play them. We always watch them on TV, always hear about Georgetown. Awesome history. So to have that opportunity to play them on that stage, we're definitely looking forward to it.
I've known some of those guys for a while, playing against them in high school and AAU. I just told my guys before the game, if we playing at the way we're playing at our level, we can beat these guys by 20.
Here's right swatted from the back. Look at the athleticism by Bradford Burgess, the junior from Virginia.
I think it might have started off a little close, but then we kind of took off and never looked back. I mean, they really didn't have a chance. Brandon was on another level that game. He was really shooting that thing.
Brandon Rizell has checked into the game.
Am I right?
There is Rizell again, slings the triple.
Brandon Rizell was awesome that game.
Rizell feeling it here in Chicago, his 5th triple.
I think he had 26 that game.
Boy, this kid's figured out his offense. Rizell tonight, 26 points, a season high.
If we get 26 from Brandon, it's going to be hard for a team to beat us.
Their team struggled with our play, with our aggressiveness offensively and defensively.
We picked them up 94 feet and pressured them the whole game and got the game going up and down, and that's what we wanted.
Final seconds come off the clock as Virginia Commonwealth is on to the 3rd round.
And then the Purdue game, they have 2 NBA players. I think they were rated the best defense in the country that year going into it.
Rodriguez has been the man tonight. He's got 11 points and 6 assists.
They want to slow the game down, play their way. And, it started out back and forth for a little bit, but then we got the game going up and down as well, started making some shots.
Another lead pass, Rodriguez hitting Burgess in stride.
Honestly, I think that was the most balanced game we got from everybody.
Inside Nixon finding some space.
It was one of those games where everybody was clicking. So they didn't really stand a chance either.
The USC game was like, okay, we won a game. That Georgetown team was tough. Georgetown and Purdue, they're 2 totally different programs. Georgetown is super athletic and long. Purdue is usually super tall and not athletic and plays a half-court game. So when we beat those 2 styles back to back, I started thinking, ooh, you get hot at the right time, you can do some special things.
What's up, Richmond? We're going to Sweet 16.
The program's first trip to the Sweet 16 opened eyes for everyone. VCU got an up-close look at how much the intensity grew as the field shrunk, and the nation got a good look at just how special this team seemed destined to be.
The game in San Antonio, the Florida State game, Florida State has always been super athletic.
They were talented and long and tall.
They had like a 25-year-old senior. He's playing against grown men out there.
And well coached. So on paper, Florida State was going to win that game.
We know that we're the best team here tonight. We know it. Deep down in here, we know it. Florida State don't know it yet. We got to go show them.
Whenever I think about a Florida State game, of course I think about Joey's pass to Brad, the patience, the longest 5 seconds I ever witnessed in my life. Darius Theus's play when Joey had gotten foul trouble was outstanding. Of course, Rob getting the block.
At this point, I just want to make a heads-up play. I knew not to crash into the guy. I still look at it like that. I was a freshman, man. That could have been ugly.
We played hard, we scrapped, and it was close, and at the end, the thing that sticks out, Rob Brandenburg blocking the shot on the other end that would have beat us.
I mean, that's still one of my favorite clips to watch. Just to see, Coach Smart go crazy, see Brad throw the ball, see Joey run, I'm running. I mean, everybody's running, and because that could have been the game, the run could have ended.
I got nothing else to say except we're in the Elite Eight.
That was after we won. We celebrating, and we all take a step back.
Just after every game, it became a whole deal where we just have Heath dance.
Just kept developing it and developing. He started it was like he went home. He must have been in the mirror like. it almost looked like a TikTok dance now. If you really think about it, Heath Houston was ahead of his time. Shout out to Heath Houston, you're a genius.
Kansas, they had NBA players, and they were loaded, which they always are. The Carolinas, Dukes, Kentuckys, they're always loaded with McDonald's All-Americans, and they were loaded that year. So on paper, again, that was a blowout. But Kansas was never in that game.
We had a captain's meeting like usual at half court before the game, and the Morris twins come out. I think it was the Morris twins and Lightfoot, I think one of their guards. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, y'all had a good run, but it ends here. Wrong thing to say.
We've been in the gym. Yeah, we've been in the gym. Focused on the win. What you say, boy? Come again. Hey, please come again. I like we ain't poppin'. Who gon' stop us now? Who gon' stop us now? Who gon' stop us now? Who gon' stop us now?
Wrong thing to say. Like, me, I'm an even kill guy, but you shouldn't have said that to Joey. Joey is one of those guys, so he's gonna make sure that he does everything in his will to prove you wrong. And that's why I love him. He's such a competitor. But that was infectious. So the whole team got that vibe after they said that, and we came out and handled business.
The thing I remember about that game was standing by my wife, who was pregnant with our son, and just constantly looking at her and looking at the score thinking, we're blowing Kansas out. I think when Kansas got punched in the mouth early, their fans kind of sat back like, whoa.
As we fires away in a stunner, the Rams of Virginia Commonwealth have made it to the Final Four, knocking off the #1 seed, the Jayhawks of Kansas.
That was a very great experience. The best thing about it is we had family and friends there. To be able to celebrate with them was awesome. And then we came back and celebrated some more. And that was even better. We got back at like 1 o'clock, 12:30, something like that. So all these people, I know they had to be tired because I know they were probably partying when we won. So we get back and all this is just packed out with fans and just so happy and cheering us on and everything. It was amazing. It was amazing to see, amazing to be a part of. I hear stories all the time about fans driving from Richmond all the way down to Houston, man. People from Florida driving from Florida to support us. It was very humbling, and I was so thankful that the VCU fans turned out the way they did.
How often does your team make it to the Final Four? So this was a moment that I definitely couldn't pass up.
So in 2011, I lived in Houston. I got to see it from the perspective of the city who was hosting my school. When everybody came down, when all the Richmond people came down to Houston, I had a cookout at my house and a pool party, and it was just great to see so many people and celebrate and share that moment.
I actually went down to the game, the Final Four, with the mayor, and we had on our colors, and we were rooting as hard as we could for VCU, and I got to, I think, meet the team at the airport. It was really, for me as governor during that stretch, it was exciting, being a lifelong college basketball fan.
To walk out onto the court, I mean, you're in the center of Reliant Stadium, and there's going to be people flooding this place. To walk in there and to experience that is mind-boggling. I thought we came out and played well. Brad and Skeen again made a ton of shots. Me and Rozelle had a ton of in and outs. If you ever watch the game again, I've never watched it. I've only seen clips. But even in the clips, you see like the ball spinning in and out numerous times. I remember in my head a few times when shots I usually make didn't go in.
I almost felt like it wasn't supposed to happen or something. So
I was the defensive player. I played the first half, tried to come back second half. I started cramping up.
And he was like our defensive stopper at the guard spot. So we had other guys guarding Shove and Mac that usually wouldn't be guarding Shove and Mac.
Got to tag him, though. Mac way outside, get to the hole. Puts it off the glass for 2 more.
There's a lot of 50-50 balls that they got.
The baseline fade away. No. Howard on the follow-up
We just didn't do a good enough job on the backboard. I feel like they got too many second chance points.
And at the end of the day, they were really good.
I do remember at the end of the game, and Shaka was a class act all the way through, which he always is. But when he knew he was going to lose, I'll never forget. He said this to me. He said, "Jamie, I have to figure out how to play as physical as Butler without fouling," which you could take that two ways.
I cried a little bit. When I say a little bit, I had one teardrop, and I sat there and I was in the locker room and I was tight about it. I was mad about losing.
Hopefully one day I'll go back and watch it just to see, like, hey, you're in the Final Four, you playing the game. But for now, still 10 years later, I'm good with just clips. I don't want to see the ending. I don't want to see any of that stuff.
I felt like somebody put a straw in me and just sucked the life out. Like, I was just like, oh my God, we were so close.
Then it hit me like, yo, if you got to go out of the way, why not this way? We did something that nobody's done in Richmond. If you got to go out some way, I'll take that way.
I think the best part is when you do everything they say that you couldn't. And me, man, yeah. I was just a kid with a dream, trying to go and make it on the scene. You know what I mean?
That Final Four changed this entire city.
The pride of the city was overwhelming because, I mean, we were on the map. You know, there are a lot of cities in the country that are called Richmond. And so you have to make sure people know where Richmond really is.
It was just amazing how many people just kind of knew about us now, because a lot of people were like, I never knew where VCU was. I never heard of them.
Having a team from my own state while I'm governor being the Final Four just doesn't get any better than that.
You know, the money that comes from that, the exposure.
It's incredible. You know, more students, you know, you go there now and it's a whole bunch of new buildings, new dorms. And, you know, we had a lot to do with that.
Because your team went to the Final Four. That's the power of sports.
It has changed VCU. We continue to have more applications than we had ever had before that. There was a significant uptick in fundraising, and it was literally millions. I mean, we definitely saw more money than we had ever seen.
And just seeing what it did for the city, the way people pulled together, whatever differences they might have had politically, nobody was divided on the VCU.
The unity in the city during that run was unbelievable. It was so cool.
VCU has some of the best fans in the country, and they showed us love, and they still show us love now.
I never thought my college, my alma mater, would get to the Final Four, and for that to finally happen, it was just like everything. It just felt like a big dream.
You have guys come up to us, hey, I was here when you guys went on that run. You guys made my life awesome going through that, having that experience. I'm glad we could do that, and I'm glad you guys supported us the way you did, because that helped us as well. So it was a beautiful thing. The ESPYs was an experience in itself. We ended up going to the ESPYs, winning biggest upset when we beat Kansas.
Being in the ESPYs, you know, these are athletes that you look up to, you know, that you've grown up watching. And, you know, here they are asking you questions like they were fans of us.
Just a kid with a dream. They used to think that I was crazy, and I've been dreaming even bigger lately. Bigger. I'm talking bigger than the president. To everybody in my city, I'm a represent. Yeah.
I think the cool thing about our story that makes it unique, it was the first 4 game, you know, that whole deal, and then nobody thought we should have got in.
They said y'all didn't belong.
Nobody thought we'd win a game.
We did what everybody said that we couldn't do.
I think we are the Cinderella story. I think we faced the most adversity.
We were the first, from the first 4 to the Final Four, and I think that ours always rank on top.
It was one of those stories we love, you know, the underdog doing well and a great bunch of kids with a great leader. It did a lot for the city.
First Four to Final Four, a Cinderella story. Sponsored by the Virginia Lottery.